John? Yeah. Be'ezras Hashem Yisbarach. Yom Shlishi Kitoi. Parshas Vayeitze Shnas Tavshin Ayin Ches Yeshiva Tiferes Avigdor. You have to know that Emunah and Bitachon are not just very nice things. They are the goal of all goals. It is the spitz of all spitzes. And in the words of the Rishonim, and down to the halacha l'maisa of the Chafetz Chaim, who writes in his Sefer, Nefutzos Yisroel, where he talks to people that are scattered, people that are in the war. He writes, the Iker HaKoil. What is the Iker HaKoil? Sheyes Chazek, a person should be mechazik himself, b'midas habitachon, and that's how he is going to find salvation. Bitachon, in the words of the Vilna Gaon, is the Iker HaKoil. In the words of Rabbeinu Yoina, Iker HaKoil. Bitachon is Emunah, and Bitachon is also, by the way, Yiras Hashem, awareness of Hashem. People tend to hear stories about Bitachon, they go, wow, I like that. Okay, I am signing up, and I am now becoming a Baal Bitachon. That would be like a guy witnessing a very sick person going through a heart surgery, a complex heart surgery where the guy stopped to breathe, and some guy from Hatzalah came and started giving him mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, and then he shocked him a couple times, and the surgeon came and he started to work on the guy's heart, and after a few hours, he said, stable. And the guy watched that and he says, wow, I'm a doctor. I'm a doctor. You're a doctor. What chance do you have to being a doctor? Just because you saw medical techniques in practice, you may like it, that doesn't mean you are it. Bitachon is something you're going to get after working on it for a very, very long time. You have to know how to work on Bitachon. So, one of the eitzes, I'm going to give you the simple ones first. How to practice, which I told this to many people who have then called me and said to me, it doesn't work. I said, you're like the guy who said, how do I build my muscles up? Get some weights. Start with a 5-pound, go to the 10-pound, go to the 15-pound, work yourself up. And then you could see where you're holding. And the fellow goes, tries it for a couple of days, skips a couple of days, goes another couple of days, tries it back, start over again, back and forth. And at the end of a few months, meets the doctor, he said, no, how's your muscle? You get a muscle. I said, doctor, it doesn't work. It doesn't work for me. What doesn't work? It works for everybody. You don't do it. So the first thing it says in the pasuk is, give me that please. Ha'emanti ki adaber. You want to know how you're going to believe in Hashem? Ki adaber, when you speak. Talk about Hashem, and talk about Hashem, and that's how you're going to experience Hashem. There's another pasuk which you say every night, the Krish Melamit and the Yoshev B'Seisa. We say, Oymar la Hashem. I say to Hashem, Machasiyu mitzudasi. You're my refuge. You're my place of saving. Elokai eftach boi. My Hashem, I rely on Him. Ki hu yatzilcha. So my Zayda said, what is the pshat? Oymar la Hashem. It doesn't make any sense. What do you mean you're saying to Hashem? Say it to yourself. What do you mean, Oymar la Hashem? Don't say it. Do it. Say, Hashem is my refuge. He said, this is a way of acquiring bitachon. You acquire bitachon by saying over and over to yourself, Hashem, you are my refuge. Hashem, you are my salvation. Not this caver, not that caver, not this Hasidic Rebbe, not that Hasidic Rebbe, not this Litvish Rosh Yeshiva, not this Litvish Mensch. The only machsiu mitzudasi I have is Hashem, and if you have Hashem, you have everything. Now, how do you train yourself in this? So the first thing you do is you train yourself to say psukim of bitachon. This is a Kabbalah from Kadmoinim, that the way to acquire bitachon is to train yourself to say psukim which enhance the bitachon. For example, a person will say, Hashem tzivakos ashrei adam boiteach bach. The person will say over, Hinei kel yeshuasi eftach v'loy efchad. I have bitachon, I have no fear. Again and again and again. After a while, if you get trained in the psukim, you're going to notice that every day, from the minute you wake up, you are in training for bitachon. From the minute you say in the morning, Moida ani lefanecha, melech chai v'kayim, that's called, I'm training myself in bitachon. You start to say the karbonos, and you have famous Yerushalmi, the three main psukim of bitachon. You say Hashem tzivakos simonu miskavlonu elikei yankev selo. Hashem tzivakos ashrei adam boiteach bach. Hashem oishio hamelech yaneinu v'yoim kareinu. You say the Birchas HaShachar, where you acknowledge every single aspect of your being is from Hashem. You say Asher Yotzar, you machazik yourself in bitachon. You say Hoidul Hashem, and you last psukim, I'm not sure if it's 15 psukim, a whole bunch of psukim, starting from V'hu Rachum. You start by saying Chas L'cho v'amitcha tamid yitzruni. You say Mamish pasuk after pasuk, Ibig Echazert, the Nacham al Ibig Echazert, Yichas L'cho Hashem aleinu ka'asher yichalnu loch, Hareinu Hashem chastecha. Nacham, and you finish by saying V'ani b'chas L'cho v'tachti, Yogeli bi b'shuasecha ashiro l'Hashem ki gam aloloi. A person should train himself in these psukim. A nice way of doing it is to take a couple of psukim which you're accustomed to saying every day, and for a couple of weeks, every day, repeat those psukim numerous times a day, not in the middle of learning, but when you're going to work, or you're coming home from work, or you're sitting at work and you're working for yourself, you should definitely say these psukim. Or if you have a lunch break and you're working for somebody else, say these psukim. Train yourself to say psukim, make it your business. To have these psukim of Bitachon, you're saying it's Limud Torah, it's Kriya B'Torah, and if you think what you're saying, you're going to get schar harbe moed. There's no pill like the pills of Torah. There's no medicine like the medicine of Torah. It's a samachayim, and that is the most powerful way of a person training himself to acquire bitachon. Now, eventually, if you know what you're saying, you will start to feel that in any situation you're in. I remember my wife, she should be gesund and stark. When we got married, we were in many situations. We passed a cop on the road. We were going a little over the speed. And the first thing she said was, Hashem Elikei Yisroel Teshua Selam. It was like a reflex, an automatic reflex. If a car came too close to her, even before she tried, she said, Hashem Elikei Yisroel Teshua Selam. She always said, that's what I say, L'shuascha Kivisi Hashem. That's the pasuk I said, and that's what I say. Train yourself to say a pasuk. Say the HaRav used to talk to people. People would hear him mumbling, "Lishuascha kivisi Hashem, Lishuascha kivisi Hashem." When I heard that, so I made myself a business that when my phone rings, and you pick up the phone, say Lishuascha kivisi Hashem. You want to have Yeshua from Hashem. At the phone call should be productive. It should be you should be able to benefit somebody, and it shouldn't be harmful to anybody. What that is, it's tremendous. You train yourself that everything you're looking for the Yeshua of Hashem and from Hashem. This is an absolute. I can't tell you how many in the light have called me up. And I said, what do you do if you're forced to be up in the middle of the night from a new baby, an old baby? What do you do then? So we know, sadly, what do most people do, Yankee? They had to stay up with their baby in the middle of the night. How do they make it up? They send their wife to work the next morning, and they sleep in. First, if not, some come to davening, and then go to sleep, some skip davening, then they come, everybody has their mahalach. But there's really a simpler mahalach. You know what that is? To understand that what happened to you last night was Hashem keeping you up. Your baby didn't keep you up, you're not because if you think your baby kept you up. And you think your wife got on your case, it was Hashem on your case. And you were honest. What you're supposed to do then is think, Hashem, you are the one who's mavir sheino me'eno yisnuma me'afapoy. You are the one who's noisem lo'yoyev koyach. So bishlama, if I was a poishay, I was negligent, I was up late when I wasn't supposed to be, Hashem said, you're a poishay, so your punishment is, you're tired. Why should Hashem give you koyach? But if you went to sleep on time, and you slept a decent night, you should not have any problem whatsoever getting your koyach back. I once had a bacher that came to me to learn, a very fine young man, and told me he has a problem. Very serious learner, he'd take a learner. His problem was that he had to go to sleep about 9 o'clock. He needed sleep at night like nobody's business. I told him, what happens if you don't have, I'm not functional. So I said, do you want to continue that mode? Or would you like me to help you get out of that mode? He said, it's a dream. It's not shaykh. I've been to doctors. I've been to therapists. I tried this. I tried that. I don't think anything's going to work. So I said, you only been to kaifrim. You only tried natural, kfiridik ways. Did you ever try the Hashem method? He said, no. I said, I'll take you in the yeshiva, and I'll let you go to sleep initially at 9 o'clock, but the plan has got to be, you have to want to be trained out of it. If you don't want, I can't help you. Don't come to the yeshiva. So he came to the yeshiva, and I showed him. I said, do you understand that any koyach you have from Hashem? If Hashem put you in a situation where you had to sleep longer, that was a shtickle einish. But einshim don't last forever. You people last forever. Hashem gives you the koyach. Hashem wakes you up in the morning. Hashem can't give you the koyach less. And I said, get that in your mouth. Tell yourself, it's from Hashem. It's not my body. It's not my makeup. It's not my mental state, my emotional state. It has to do with what of it? With Hashem. And I told him like this, go to sleep after a week of going to sleep at 9 o'clock or 9:30. I said, this week you're starting a new program, 9:45. And I played with him for a long time. At the end, when he left the yeshiva, he was going to sleep between 12 and 12:30 and waking up the next morning at 7 o'clock and making it to daven and going through the day like a normal person. I told the guy, if you don't learn anything else in this yeshiva, you got your life back. You know how many percentage of time in your life you gain back? I said before, you couldn't get a normal shidduch. What go on tomorrow? A guy goes at 9 o'clock. You know what I mean? That's when she's coming home. Let's finish up. What kind of business is this? No. Baruch Hashem did a very wonderful shidduch. So a person has to realize that it's in your mind, and you got to get with Hashem. When you say at night, "Biyodcha av kidruchi, podisa oisi Hashem kel emes," say to yourself, Hashem, I'm really putting myself in your hands. Put me to sleep and wake me up in the morning. And that's what a person has to know. If you train yourself, like everybody say, you'll be flying so high, becoming a big Baal Bitachon, and you'll stop talking kfira all day long. Divrei kfira is, oh, it was an accident. That's kfira. Oh, the guy didn't treat me right. Oh, that guy's anti-Semite. That guy, I can't stand him. That lady, oh, it's terrible. That's all kfir, because everything is controlled by HaKadosh Baruch. So that's the thing. The first thing is you get the psukim down, talk about Hashem, you say the psukim, and that is how you can acquire him. Now there's another thing to acquire him, and that is by practicing emunah. You know how you practice emunah? One of the ways of practicing emunah is by giving tzedakah. That's what you do. You start to give tzedakah and meiser. You have to know there are heterim, a dime a dozen, why not to give tzedakah. But I want to tell you that anybody who's getting a heterim not to give tzedakah is wearing a very big sign on his back. No bitachon here. Only fear. You know, you have these rough goyim, these rednecks, they put a sign in the back of their trucks. No fear. Any guy who's not giving meiser and tzedakah, and he's afraid of chaimish, it's going to kill him, you have to know the person is living in fear. Just the other day, a fellow called me up, and he said he needs a little more money. Do I have any eitzes for him? I said, do you give tzedakah? Well, it depends how you look at it, depends how you view it. I said, do you give tzedakah? No. I said, start giving meiser right now. I said, do you want to give Meiser? That's the first thing I asked. Do you want to give Meiser? You don't want to give Meiser? I can't help you. But then you're a cheap Jew. You have to want to give Meiser. Keep a cheshbon, show Hashem that you want to give Meiser. If you don't give Meiser, you know what you think really? You think that if I give this Meiser, I'm going to have less of my family. But the Gemara says a person never, ein odem ma'ani min tzedakah. You never go poor from tzedakah. You don't even trust, you don't rely on Hashem. I said, it says clearly, if you give tzedakah, you get Hashem is going to give you back. Why would you want a heter not to give tzedakah? So I told the guy, start giving the tzedakah. He was an erlich fellow. He sat down and he gave the tzedakah. Called me yesterday afternoon, right after the shir. So I want to just notify you, I already received dividends. I got a check from someplace I had worked a while back, and I had given up hope on ever getting that money. I decided to forget about it, and the check just came in the mail. That's what a person has to know. Heter and tzedakah are going to undermine your bitachon, which is the ikar hakoil. Another thing, the Gemara says that if a person spends money for his children to learn Torah, that doesn't come off his cheshbon. Hashem does not count that in your yearly cheshbon. That's free money, Hashem says. People say, I can't afford it. I can't afford it. Nope. Person has to understand. Another thing how to get stuck is trust Hashem. Hashem says if you are going to spend money for Shabbos, Hashem says, I will take care of you. Hashem says, I will help you out. That's another way to acquire bitachon. So you practice bitachon. You put your foot in the pool, you get your feet a little wet, and you take your breath starts to come in heavy breaths because you're nervous and you're fearful. If I give tzedakah and I had a heter not to, maybe Hashem's going to be upset at me. This is what I hear over and over and over. I said, you really think that Hashem is going to be upset at you for giving tzedakah? Well, I once heard that if you're mevazvez, al yevazvez b'yayze b'chaymish. It doesn't say al yevazvez stuck. It doesn't say. It says if a guy sees that he's losing his money, he doesn't have any money, know what he should do? It says the Gemara, yas mem tzedakah, give tzedakah. That's how you boost your bottom line. But people don't accept that. I'm not a gvir, I'm not a this, I'm not a that. You have no bitachon, you have nothing. Practice bitachon and do it as an exercise bitachon. Because you know what? You could have a person that gives it tzedakah and he has no bitachon when it comes to shidduch. You could have a guy that gives meiser, he has no bitachon when it comes to hitzah Shabbos or hitzah Talmud Torah. He doesn't believe that expenditures for his children with Talmud Torah are not a waste of money for him. You can't afford it. You can afford it. So you start doing this practice. This is how you practice. Then we have the next thing, and this is the main way of how to get bitachon. It's called the way of the chayvus halvos. That's what it's called. And the Chafetz Chaim in that sefer, he writes very bekitzer, and he says, "V'nei ha'eitza." What's the eitza for a person to be mechazik himself in bitachon? Sheyisboinein tamid al zman ha'avar. He should constantly think about his past. In the days of his life, how many tens of years have you lived till now? And b'chesed Hashem Yisbarach, you weren't missing one day of food, one day of drinks, one day of a roof over your head, one day of clothing. You weren't missing anything. So what in the world do you have to worry about? The future. That's all. What are you worried about, he says? Just like Hashem helped you till now, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will help you from now on. Try to picture a fellow would come to you and he would say to you the follows: I'm nervous that I'm going to die tomorrow. I've had these people call me up and tell me, I'm probably going to get cancer. Why do you talk so stupid? Why would you say such a retarded thing? I just have this feeling. I said, did you ever have cancer yet? I understand a person said I had cancer. I went into remission, I'm afraid again. That I can understand. No, I never had cancer. Have you ever had any major disease? No. A lot of times people say that. I figured out what they mean to say is that I really did sins. And I'm afraid that Hashem's going to come to collect on my sins. To that, there's an answer. Do truth. Change your way of life. But this, you have to reiterate again and again and again and again about the chasadim that Hashem. If you look in the Chayvus Halvavas, he gives you the conditions that are present in Hashem that will build your trust in Hashem like nobody's business. And I want to tell you what he says, interesting thing. Part of it is easy to digest. The other part is not. The first part is that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has more mercy and more compassion on a person more than any other compassionate being. Now, there are some guys who merit that their mother loves them to death. Or maybe their father loves them to death. I've seen it on occasion, where the father tells his son, mein Yingel, mein Kind, you're my life. I'll live for you. And he does. The parents live for them. There's all kinds of situations of how that comes out, but it does. I've seen it. I don't know if it's very common, but it happens. Now, that person loves his parents, but he's a fool. You know why? It's not his parents who love him. Chayvus Halvavas says, "V'chol rachamim v'chemla sheyiyu mizulasei olav." Now, there's two kind of versions of the Chayvus Halvavas. There's actually three. There's the original one that's written in Arabic, Rabbeinu Bechaya. Then you have the version in Lashon Kodesh, the first version, which was authored by one of the Rishonim, Reb Shmuel Ibn Tibbon, but it's not an easy Hebrew. So then people came along and rewrote it again in their easier Hebrew. But you have to know, learning it in the original Hebrew is much more chashuv, besides it for being much closer to the original teaching of Rabbeinu Bechaya. It's also the language of a Rishon. The language of a Rishon carries much greater weight than the language of some nice fellow from Eretz Yisrael. Listen to what he says here. The chol rachem, any mercy, the chemla and pity that's shown to a person by anyone, sheyiyu mizulasoi elov. You know what he said? Does your mother love you, Shalom Yehuda? What do you think? Okay, you're not sure? Okay, I could have it. Who has a loving mother? Anybody here feels has a loving mother? Avi. If your mother loves you, Shimon? Why? Because she's your mother. Now, I have some news to you. The reason why your mother loves you has nothing to do, for surely, not the way you behaved. And the reason why your mother loves you is Kulam heim mirachamei hakel v'chamlosishim. You know? It comes directly from the pity of Hashem. If your wife loves you, if your friend loves you, if your father loves you or your mother loves you, it has nothing to do with them. Any display of compassion that you get from anybody, any display of pity, is not because your nose was running and not because your shirt was sticking out, and not because your shoes were off. No. It has to do is because Hashem programs your mother and makes you love them. A father works for you, Hashem makes, and there are fathers that don't. There are mothers that don't love their children as much. Not every mother loves the children the same. I've heard some mothers that they don't like their kids. Remember, a mother once wrote a letter, the worst, about her 8-year-old daughter telling me that she's convinced she's a little Nazi. Not stop. She's not right. I say, you're a very ill lady, you have to get therapy right away, so you need serious help. If you picture your 9-year-old daughter or 8-year-old daughter is your trying to get you like the Nazis got the Jews, I got some news for you. Something's not right there. But it was Hashem. That's what it is. Here's a person who doesn't get the motherly love he wants, or the fatherly love. He wants to know why not. He blames his mother. He sugar it. You know why you didn't get it? Because Hashem didn't give it to you. And when you got it, you have to know, so any love you got from Hashem. Nothing else. Sometimes you think you meet somebody, you found somebody, you bumped into somebody else, and now it works. We got a relationship. The Rebbe tells me I have a big chassid. This chassid will die for me. The chassid will die for you because Hashem wants him to die for you. And if Hashem doesn't want to die for you, he won't. And look, you had a terrible story in Yisroel a little while ago. What was his name? One of the Abu Chutzer's kids was Baruch. I don't know, one of them. No, one of the sons. One of his biggest Hasidim came and he killed him. Ben Elazar. Can you imagine? I remember that story. It was horrifying. He had people that flocked there. He had his bank account with $20 million. I don't know. It was mamish, unbelievable. People loved him. People followed him. People desperate. And what happened? Hashem sent somebody to do him in. Everybody said the guy was crazy. The guy was this. The guy was that. He lost it. There's nothing that doesn't come from Hashem. That's the first thing. Then there's a second. So you have to constantly tell yourself that. Think about all the compassion that you experienced in your life. Second, think about the knowledge that there's no one, as Hashem knows every single thing about you, and there's any way you need help. No matter what situation you're in, nothing is concealed. Hashem always knows exactly what to do. And nothing is hidden from him. Third, Hashem's got the power. All the power is Hashem's. You got to know that. He's stronger than any power in the world. So I don't care if you see 6 brutes wearing bullets across their chest. What are those things called? Those Mexican things they have. Bandilos. Something like that, I forgot. Anybody knows Spanish? You know, Shemayo, what do they call those Mexican things they wear, you know? What? Something like that. Whatever it is, you see that, you have to think. Now you should picture this. Picture who you're afraid of. Most people are afraid of mice. There's a mouse in the house, they would go berserk. Stand on the table and scream and shout, call the police. I'm not talking about that. Some people scream for a rat in the house. If they have an intruder in the house, even if it was a little intruder, they get nervous. As for an armed intruder, they get really nervous. People are scared. That's how it is. You have to know you have the backing of the most powerful power in the whole world. You have to know that. And no one can reverse Hashem's decision. Remember, that's very important. Another quality of Hashem is that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is constantly being mashgiach on anhagas b'nei ha'adam kulai. You know what that means? That if you happen to wake up in the middle of the night and you suddenly see somebody who doesn't belong in your house, You know what most people would do, Avram? Oh, they do. They would have what you experienced the other night, and 1,000,000 times. They would freeze. They would lose all their energy, would be depleted. Their heart would start going into palpitations. They would come paralyzed. I mean, I've read so many stories about people behave. I don't blame them. It's called natural reactions. But you know why they're doing that? Because they think they're alone. Now, what if somebody would tell them, a little whisper, they'd see a text, they always have their phone under their bed, under their pillows. These people like to sleep with their phones, and they see a little blink going on, and the lady looks at her phone, and she sees, this is the police. We're aware there's an intruder in your home. We're right behind him. Don't move. With her fear factor drop, I'm certainly a win. But you have to know that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is mashgiach, and he supervises people's behavior of all mankind. He never neglects them. He doesn't hide himself from them. There's nothing that's concealed from him. So your alarm system doesn't have to be working. Hashem is working. Hashem is right there. Now you always have to key into this. This is how you get bitachon. You have to be aware, just like if you're aware of the police are here. That's what happened. Another thing you have to know is Hashem has exclusive control. Not he also has control. The police come into your house and they have a gun, a couple of guns, and the robbers have guns. Just heard a story in Kol Mavasar where they said that one of the Shemrim guys was coming by his house and he notices a guy furtively going around his house. And then he noticed the guy breaks the door, he goes into the house, quickly calls the police, and the police caught him red-handed. You have to know, Hashem has exclusive control. Not also some control. He is the only one. None of the creatures, no brute, no human, no animal, no being, can have any koyach to be mazik you or somebody else unless it is with the rishus of the Boirei Yisbarach. And that's what you have to understand. Now these are things you have to work on. And I'll tell you how you practice. Lay down in your bed. A lot of people are petrified. Even adults, they lock their doors 5 times, they lock their windows 5 times. They're always scared, they hear noises. Hashem is not in their house. They get an alarm system, they get another alarm system, they buy mace, sometimes they buy a gun, whatever gives them bitachon. And they have all kind of funny behavior of which they behave. And a person has to know that your best alarm system is Hashem. Lay in your room and think, Kadosh Baruch Hu, you're with me right here. Under the blankets, on top of the blankets, all around me, you're envelope me. And then listen for noises. I'm not afraid of noises. I have fear of no noises because Hashem is with me. That's what a person has to know. No one could help you, not Shemrim, not the police. If the police help you, it's because Hashem sent the police to help you. Now today, if you ever call the police, you should never have to call the police. If you ever have to call the police in the middle of a robbery, ask you 20 questions. Now you're in the middle of the night, you're trying to answer the phone. You know, I can't ask you, how old are you? They want to know. Are you alone in the house or anybody else? What is the nature of your emergency? How many people are there? You want to go check? Could you go out of your room and see how many people are intruding in your house? Are you crazy? What? I can't even talk now. I'm talking, I'm jeopardizing every second. Just get the police over here in a second. You have to understand, you're not talking to the police. You should be talking to Hashem. That's how you should be talking to the police. Hashem, please come. Hashem controls everything. Hashem pays the police. Hashem sends the police. The car goes to the police. The insects don't bite you. No, it's not bed bugs. I'm sorry to tell you. It's Hashem taking bites out of you. And these bed bugs are Hashem's shluchim. And at this, you don't appreciate it. But at the time will come. Here's a lady who calls me up. She just built this beautiful new house. And they ordered a very expensive alarm system. And a robber came into her house in the middle of the day, stole her purse when she was in the house. And she couldn't come to herself. She was ois mensch. She felt, she was sittered. She just can imagine what would have happened, what could have happened. If she would have been in the room, who knows, she was thinking. Called me up on the phone. But bro, what's the story? And I said, you're the luckiest lady. How do you feel? Are you bothered by the fact that they took your purse? Or are you bothered by the fact that you were assaulted in your own home? There was a stranger in your home. I could care less about the person. What bothers me is the fact that I was assaulted in my own home. When I was here, there was somebody, intruder in my home. A dangerous intruder. A guy wasn't afraid. Could have been on drugs, could have had a gun, could have had a knife. It's a simple solution. Hashem sent that messenger to you. What's the message? She said, I knew the message. I said, what do you think the message is? The message is, my husband should have got that alarm system in a week ago and not wait till next week. I said, that's what you think the message is? I should have moved into the house till the alarm system was installed. I said, I got some news for you, lady. During the day, alarm systems are usually shut off because you don't want the alarm to come in when your husband comes in the house. You don't want the alarm to go when your kid walks into the house. When you walk out of the house, the nature, generally, people have alarm systems. They wake up in the morning, they walk out, they press the buttons, they turn off the system. And the whole day it's off. They go out, they put it back on sometimes. But at night, when everybody's in the house, they put it back on. I said, Hashem sending you a very clear message. She said, could you tell me what that is? I said, could you think of anybody who's in their home right now and feels assaulted by you? I said, what does that mean? I said, let me say it again in Spanish. I said, do you aware of anybody who's right now in their home, they don't live with you, live in their own home, but they feel that you're in their face, you're under their skin, and you're getting in their life? No. I said, it can't be. Hashem just told you there is somebody. I said, maybe it's some other reason. I said, do you think it's because you didn't have a mincha yesterday with kavanah? Well, what do you think the reason is? If that's the feeling you're experiencing, could it be somebody? I can't figure it out. I said, think. I said, calm down and think. I said, do you maybe have a sibling that feels very imposed upon by you, very controlled by you, very uneasy in their own house because of you? Quiet. Hello? Is anybody home? Are we still talking? Yes. So, maybe there is somebody. I said, what I would do is forget about the alarm system. What I would do is call that person up and make amends. Change your behavior. Change your behavior. And 2 hours goes by, and the mother calls me up. The mother said, how'd you figure it out? That was magic. You don't know what's going on in our family. This person is a very strong person, very domineering. And her sister is very nice and very sweet. And she pushes, eats her up, controls her. Mom gets to the urine. She's petrified from her. I said, hopefully now there'll be a change in her behavior. She got the message. Hashem sent that intruder. That's what Hashem did. And Hashem made her have that feeling. Because that's what Hashem wants to give you the message. Practice this in your house. Think of all the compassion you got in your life and that you didn't get in your life. You know how many people that I know personally have kindness on people for not giving them compassion? My mother never loved me. Holocaust survivors, No, children of Holocaust survivors, cousins of Holocaust survivors. They grew up in New York. New York is cold, rat race, everybody's working hard, there's no love. A person called me today and says, maybe out of town is more loving, I don't know where you come from, but where I come from, I said, I don't know what you're talking about. Hashem is all over, that means where you live. But that people have this nonsense. People have this nonsense. They don't believe in Hashem for 1 second. Big fruit people, long beards, big streimler, big black hats, big sheitler. Hashem, Kunish. Of course they say Hashem. You get it by Simcha Baruch Hashem, Haydel Hashem Kitayv, Haydel Hashem Chasdai, Lamin Hashem, in Titan Bankers, a linker Piast, Hashem, Kishmach. Stay out of my life. My brother's this, my brother's that, the neighbor, my work, my boss, my insurance man, my this is everybody's a Ganef and a Gazlin, everybody acted Chinik, my wife is too cold, and my husband's too cold, and my son's too warm, and my house. I get it. The thing is, Hashem doesn't run the world. That's what a person has to know. The next quality that person has to know is that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, His kindness to mankind is pashit on. You can't even touch it up. It's pashit lo oilam. It's avas oilam avtich. Hashem loves us. There's nothing to do, and you'll experience this if you think about this. And the last thing you have to know is, it has to become clear to you that every phenomenon in the world, whether happens, you have to know everything has a set limitation to their powers. Nothing could happen, nothing could do more, nothing could do less than what HaKadosh Baruch Hu Himself decides. These are a brief oversight of what has to be studied in the Sefer Chayvos Alvavos. And each piece has to be studied over and over and over again. You have to think about it, and you have to acquire it. And these are just some of the ways of acquiring Bitachon. And if you get working on it, and you'll do it, you'll become a very happy, satisfied person. You'll become worry-free. You won't need to see therapists. You won't need to see holistic medicine, magicians, who're just going to empty out your pockets because you believe in them. And he tells somebody, why do you believe in this person? No. It's a shliach from Hashem. I see that the moon they have in these nonsense, these magicians, and they'll say it's from Hashem. Nothing from Hashem. You believe in people. Get strong, get better. Become Yankov Avinu, go in the ways of our forefather Yankov Avinu, the Semel HaBitachon, the Bechira Avis, the chosen one for Hashem, Yisroel Hashem B'chabach Hashem, and then you're going to be a Maimin and a Bitech.